Viewers, on today's episode titled From the Sacred Text of the Universal White Brotherhood, 4 Rules. On Words of Wisdom, we introduce Mrs. Rosina Sarove, a spiritual writer and a disciple of the Universal White Brotherhood's founder, Master Peter Denove, also known as Master Benza Dono. Mrs. Sarove has written several books about Master Peter Denove and his enlightening teachings in English and Italian. Her endearing words about her beloved master and comprehensive understanding of his doctrine have helped her readers to grow spiritually.
Warm greetings, heavenly inspired viewers. My name is Rosina Sarove. The Bulgarian people wish you boundless love and grace from the divine realms. In today's episode, we will explore the spiritual teaching of the Universal White Brotherhood. The religious lineage of the Universal White Brotherhood was founded by Peter Konstantinov Denove of Bulgaria, also known as Master Benza Dono, in 1900. Master Dono taught that the qualities of humility, obedience, honesty, goodness, intelligence, and nobility are foremost in spiritual practice. He explained that one should walk the path of love, wisdom, and truth. The Universal White Brotherhood believes that God is in everything, in the stones, in the plants, the water, the air, the animals, and the light. Following the principle of Vainsma, of non-violence, Master Dono practiced and preached a vegetarian, meaning animal-free diet. Today, we present to you the sacred teachings of the Universal White Brotherhood from Master Dono's lecture titled 4 Rules, delivered August 13, 1937 at Rila Mountain. All people want to be successful in life, but in spite of this, they're not. Why? Because they do not observe the essential rules, without which their life is meaningless. If you want to be successful in life, you should apply the following 4 rules. Protect the freedom of your soul, preserve the power of your spirit, sustain the light of your mind, maintain the goodness of your heart. These 4 rules represents the music, art, wealth, and strength in the human life. Without them, people can express neither love nor knowledge, neither wealth nor mindfulness. In order to be a good person, one should preserve the freedom of the soul, the power of the spirit, the light of the mind, and the goodness of the heart. Many people reject the existence of the soul and the spirit. There is no reason to reject them. They should know that only the free person has a soul. Whoever is strong has a spirit. If one is not strong, this one has no spirit. While one rejects light, this one has no mind. When one admits light, then one has mind. While one rejects good in the world, this one has no heart. When one admits good, this person admits the existence of their own heart too. What kind of person is that one who has no soul, no spirit, no mind, and no heart? The true human being is one who possesses these 4: soul, spirit, mind, and heart. When someone loses the freedom of their soul, they become gloomy and indisposed. Having a hard time, they blame the devil for this. Who is the devil? The devil is a spirit. As a spirit, it could blow away everything a person is holding in their hands, and then such a person will complain that they were robbed. Whose fault is it that you were robbed? If you were holding your hand closed, no one could rob you. If you had kept your hand open, the guilt is all yours. For example, if you place a volatile liquid under open air, the wind will easily blow it away. Who is at fault in this case, the wind or the person who opened the bottle with the liquid? Everyone should know the value of the precious things and protect them with great care. One has to contemplate all matters and then think in the right direction. Right thought needs several conditions: freedom to give space and power to make it active. Without strength, thought is deprived of movement. Right thought needs the light to encompass and to master things. The purpose of the mind is to master. The purpose of the heart is to restore the natural shape and order of things. The heart means good in the world. Why do people suffer? Because they're not free. Why are they weak? Because they have lost the power of their spirit. Why are people poor? Because they have lost the goodness of their heart. The one who lost their joyfulness has turned off the light of the mind. Sick people have lost the power of their spirit. Whoever has become a slave of any negative habit has lost the freedom of their soul. God bestowed on people 4 precious things to be kept very carefully: freedom of the soul, power of the spirit, light of the mind, and goodness of the heart. People are still dissatisfied, even though they have such enormous capital. What could the disciple expect from their master? Is the master capable of giving a disciple another head, new eyes, ears, nose, hands, and legs? Whatever one may expect, the master can only steer air around the disciple. Thanks to this movement of the air, the disciple can hear various sounds through which the master can give knowledge about the external world. He speaks to the disciples about the letters, about the syllabus, from which words and sentences can be formed. Later on, the master writes on the blackboard and explains different invisible elements: nitrogen, oxygen, etc. Then the disciple will go back home and will say that he has learned something. The art of a teacher is in the style of teaching. If teachers are skilled in teaching, they will bring light into the mind of their students. The art of a painter is in the lines they paint, in the right place. Whoever does not understand could state that it's not art, but rather daubing the canvas with paint. The art of a musician and a singer is in the precise definition of the vibrations of tones. The real musicians can specify the number, strength, and quality of the vibrations, not only of the tones, but also of the words as form, content, and meaning. For example, freedom, power, light, and goodness after specific tones. Freedom as the highest tone in the musical scale. It is expressed by the note B. The note B is part of music, but in the Bulgarian language, it represents the verb to be. In its singular form, you are. What are you? You are rich and strong. You are a knowledgeable person. When I say be, I mean that I have good understanding and deep insight about issues. In order to reach the musical tone B, I have already passed through 6 tones B. Every person in a good mood is like the tone B. So when I have freedom, I am like the tone B. When I have power, I am the tone B. When I am good, I am the tone B. Therefore, freedom is a quality of the soul, strength, a quality of the spirit, light reflects the mind, and goodness reflects the heart. Without a soul, one cannot be free. Without a spirit, one cannot be strong. Without a mind, one cannot possess light. Without a heart, one cannot be good. This morning, you all should check your status. You should see whether you have freedom in your soul, power in your spirit, light in your mind, and goodness in your heart. As you can understand, The number 4 has a very important role to play in human life. This is the reason why Pythagoras gave a teaching to his students about the meaning of the number 1, 2, 3, and 4. In reference to the term 1, he places the meaning of solidness. It means that a person should be so strong and solid that no one could move them away from their place. When one grabs something in their hands, even if the whole world fights against them, nothing can be taken away. Solidness is a quality of the earth, of solid matter. In the term of 2, Pythagoras places the quality of movement, which is typical of water. Even the slightest slope can make water flow downwards. Water needs a new environment and new surroundings. A person should be movable like water to get acquainted with those met along the road, being ready to study them. An alive person means that one who is able to move along and to be master of their life. In the number 3, Pythagoras implies the quality of expansiveness, which is a quality of air. In the number 4, Pythagoras places the term pervasiveness, a quality of light. Therefore, the solid matter has one tension downwards, where the mass is. The liquid matter has 2 tension, downwards and aside. The air, like matter, has 3 tension, downwards, aside, and upwards. Light, example, the rays spread in matter has 4 direction of movements, 4 direction of tension. One cannot understand life well if one is not stable like the solid matter, movable like water, expandable like air, and penetrating like light. To penetrate into matter means to bring light into it. Contemporary people argue on the issue of whether there is God in the world or not. Only people deprived of light in their minds could argue on such topic. Is such a person able to accept and to teach knowledge? To deny God means to give room to ignorance and slavery in the world. If someone keeps the godless attitude inside of them, it means to keep ignorance, slavery, and herd mentality. In the distant past, when humans had no light in their minds, they were characterized by herd mentality. But from the moment when God granted the living breath to humanity, human beings received light into their minds and got out from the herd mentality. Since that moment, they realized they had a father. They realized they were born. Which is the first quality characterizing a daughter and a son? The first quality of a daughter is to recognize her mother. A daughter who does not recognize her mother is a herd girl. The first quality of a son is to recognize his father. A son who does not recognize his father is a herd boy, deprived of light in his mind. It means that before arguing about whether there is God in the world or not, one should first ask oneself, do I have light in my mind? If they have a mind, then God exists. If they have no mind, then God does not exist. And the mindless man said in his heart that God does not exist. Unbelievers are distinguished by the fact that they have no light in their minds, and because of this, they live in darkness, in prison. Unbelievers are not able to think in the right way because they are deprived of light in their minds and freedom in their thoughts. A person who is not able to think is a prisoner deprived of light. What should be done for proper thinking? Light a candle in your mind to obtain light. High school students do not believe in God, but when the final exams come, they go to church and light a candle. Even they come to the understanding that they should ask someone for help. They need light in order to understand and study well. If people are in difficult situations, they recognize God. Lighting candles means that people need light. If someone is in a contradictory situation, they say there are no good people, no goodness exists in the world. But it is not the proper time to ask the question of whether there is good in the world or not. The important question to ask oneself and to answer is there goodness in my heart? If there is goodness in my heart, then there is good in the world too. If there is no goodness in my heart, then there is no goodness in the world. Nostradin Ogga, a hero from many folk stories, said, "When my wife dies, half of the world will die. When I die, the whole world will die." As a matter of fact, if a person loses freedom of the soul, power of the spirit, light of the mind, and goodness of the heart, life becomes meaningless for them. They are dead. They should resurrect. What is the meaning of resurrection? To be resurrected means to become alive. Who can resurrect? Everyone who has gained freedom of the soul. They are resurrected. Everyone who has gained power of the spirit. They are resurrected. Everyone who has gained light of the mind. They are resurrected. Everyone who has gained goodness of the heart. They are resurrected. They become alive. It is not for a person to gain freedom of the soul, power of the spirit, light of the mind, goodness of the heart in order to resurrect, to come to life. When is it possible to happen? Even today, one might die 4 times, but 4 times one can resurrect as well. When only freedom is lost, one dies for the first time. When power is lost too, this one dies for the second time. When light is also lost, that person dies for the 3rd time. And when finally goodness is lost, the person dies for the 4th time. If someone dies 4 times, they're good for nowhere. They cannot even become herdmen. When someone loses their power, they become the laughingstock for all. When light of the mind is lost, they become one of the herdmen. What happened to a person who has lost goodness of the heart? You will answer yourself. So, you have to be solid but active like the earth, your mother, who carries you on her back. The earth is moving with great speed towards our ideal. The earth is moving faster than any new aircraft created in our century. Be flexible like water and spread like it. Through evaporation, water ascends to the sky and spread around, converted into countless tiny drops, which fall down again as dewdrops, fog, rain. In this way, water caresses people. It waters and refreshes any plant and satisfies the thirst of all living beings. Water washes and removes dirtiness. A person's dissatisfaction is nothing else but a kind of impurity or dust stuck to one consciousness that is causing irritation. In order to release all filth from their physical and spiritual bodies and from their consciousness too, people should wash them very often. To reach this goal, one should utilize both visible and invisible water. If you say to yourself that you are sinful, bad, unjust, it means that you have become dirty. Take clean water and wash yourself. You are good, fair people. Is it true? It is equally true to say that a person is both good and bad. Therefore, it is recommended for a human to keep positive thoughts in their minds. It is much better to think you are a good, fair person and to become such, instead of affecting yourself negatively through your own thoughts. It is better for a person to think that they can believe. Well, but my mind is not able to accept the idea of the existence of God. How can you allow unbelief to enter your mind? First of all, Unbelief was created from faith. It is the second wife of man. When man was not able to live well with his first wife, faith, he got married to the second one, unbelief. If he was not capable of living well with the first one, who was good, tidy, and clean, then with the second one, he would live even shorter, because she was absent-minded, wasteful, and careless. The falling of man started from the moment when unbelief entered inside. Even when man was still in heaven, unbelief had penetrated inside him. So he said, it is possible to live differently, not only following the way God has told me. If you want to get free from unbelief, keep the 4 treasures God has granted to you. You should protect freedom of your soul, power of the spirit, light of the mind, and goodness of the heart. All achievements depend on these 4 qualities. You should have only one opinion when you think of freedom, power, light, and goodness in humanity. The meaning of life is hidden in freedom of the soul, power of the spirit, light of the mind, and goodness of the heart. These are the divine qualities towards which humans should progress. It is the new teaching preached today. All people want to obtain a very concrete idea of God. Freedom, power, light, and goodness inside humans are nothing else but paths for gaining divine qualities. One more concrete than these 4 qualities can be obtained. These are the 4 powers in the human being through which the Almighty God expresses Himself. These entities are the creative principles. The world has been created through them. Human beings have space in their movements when they're free. They can do something when they're powerful. They can penetrate into matter when they have light in their minds. They can keep things inside of themselves when they're good. So I wish you, when you go back home, to take your knives and to cut down the threads of the cobweb that have enveloped you by now. You can become free only in this way. Then wash all dirty dishes you have at home with clean, fresh water. It is a sign that you are actually powerful people. Afterwards, light 4 candles in your 4 rooms and let them burn all day long. What will happen to the candles? Do not worry about them. Let the candles give light. Later on, when you see that all 4 fireplaces are now burning with fire, you should place wood or coal in them and light 1 match, so that the fire burns to warm up your rooms. These 4 activities are required of all people. Tear the cobwebs that envelop you, wash the dirty dishes, light the candles, and set fires in your fireplaces. All I have said to you today is coming from God. He speaks. My children, protect the freedom of your soul. My children, preserve the power of your spirit. My children, sustain the light of your mind. My children, maintain the goodness of your heart. It was a pleasure to have you with us today. Please stay tuned for From Beyond Earth, a fascinating interview with Japan's former First Lady, Miyuki Hatoyama, here on Supreme Master Television. May your life be filled with the light and love of heaven.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW.